What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Hey, I'm Amy Chang. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, and this is Healthy AF. In this podcast, I'll be bringing you all things health, from the newest health strategies to how to tackle those personal roadblocks that just will not let you move forward. So buckle in. We're going to be inspired and instructed, and dadgum, we're going to have a little fun on Healthy AF. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. Today's episode is in support of summer break. So summer break is upon us, and things are happening in our schedule that I don't know about you, but for me, they can send my normal sanity right into the toilet. Yes, I'm talking about self-care today, specifically solitude time. Solitude time. When the kids are home, when you're in a hotel for a week with your spouse, when the family comes to visit for 3 weeks or you go to visit them, when you all go to the duplex at the beach and everybody's around all the time, how do we do self-care and have some solitude? Well, not to worry. I have some very actionable things that we can do. In fact, I have 4 really actionable things that we can do to create our self-care and solitary time and keep our shizzle straight so we can show up for ourselves and others the way we'd like to show up and not as irritable, resentful, icky little people. First of all, if you are listening to this and you're like, solitude time in the summer, what's she talking about? My kids just came home. And it's on like Donkey Kong full time from, 6 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. It is possible, and it does take pre-planning. And frankly, I'd say it's really necessary. So we all need solitude time. Now, your solitude time might look like that morning coffee time where you sit down and have your journal space or your meditation, or just the time that you take the dog outside to poop and he's doing his business and you're standing with your cup of coffee and your nightgown and it's quiet out. That's solitary time too. That's a great time for people. Another time that I like to have solitude time is when I'm on my bike. There are pockets of solitude time probably carved into your day that you don't realize until they're gone. And this is why we're talking about solitude time as the beginning of the summer begins, not midsummer. I find that as an extrovert, I really enjoy people. And as an fairly empty nester, I seek out time with other people. And in fact, if you asked me, most of the time I would say to you, I spend way too much time alone and in my home, and I need to get out and go play with people. And I'm excited to be around people. That stopped when I've spent the last 10 days with my mom. Now, I value my time with my mom. She's 82 and she's a whirlwind, but she's 82. And so I don't know how many more years I'm going to have left with my mom. In fact, anything can happen in the world of reality. I can get hit by a bus today, right? So she might not have that much time with me. I value that time and I want to be present and I want to enjoy that time with my mama. Okay. So I went to go get mom for a 3-week visit down here in Wilmington, stayed for half a week up there in Hickory and came back down here. We've had almost a week now in my house together. And I'm noticing the tiny pockets of solitary time that I must need more than I thought I needed. So the first action you can do, make a list of times that you are in solitude. Think about your day. Think about your week. What are those times where you do whatever you want to do? No one else is there to tell you how to do it or ask you what you're doing or really require any interaction at all. It's just you and your thoughts, maybe your spirituality, maybe your physical needs. If you're a mom, I'm sure you can relate. There was a time before you became a mom where you pooped in silence with no one there, or knocking on the door, or asking you for something, or making a comment on your smells or your body. Those times have passed. The tiny times that we set out for ourselves, whether it's bathroom time or coffee time or walk the dog time or bike time. So make a list now of at least 5 times in your day and week that you have solitude. And look at how having someone in your home, like an out-of-town guest, or a spouse in a hotel room, or your grown children coming home from college, or your elementary school kids who are home from school. Compare, like, how might I lose these solitary times? And what would happen if I did lose these solitary times? Yeah, just take a peek. We're going to do a lot of the playing the tape forward in this podcast. Some of you might know that expression, playing the tape forward. Another way I like to say it is, who am I on the other side of that, behavior? It's kind of like a peering into the future. I know that on the other side of my bike ride, I'm a very pleasant human being. If I skip that bike ride, may or may not be pleasant. So we're going to play that tape forward or look at who we are after we take that behavior. So that's the first thing you can do, is to make a list of those tiny pockets of time that you have to yourself to spend with yourself in solitude. The second thing is to have a conversation. Your kids are home. Your mama's in your house. Your spouse, who you really have missed all year, is right beside you all the time. Your best friend might be traveling with you, right? Have a conversation with those people about what you need to have for solitary time and what it might look like. Now, sometimes these conversations are real easy because, heads up, they're thinking it too. You might be very aware of oh my gosh, I don't know if I can spend 24/7 with this person. They too are thinking oh my gosh, I don't know if I can spend 24/7 with them. So go ahead and have that conversation. It might be easy. Hey, I know me, and to recharge my battery and have time for me, I'm thinking that I can go on this walk by myself and I'll meet you for breakfast when we come back. Easy peasy conversation. They might say that's great. I want to sleep in. Let's meet for breakfast. And then I want to go work out by myself. I'll see you at the pool. Fantastic. Those are the easy conversations. It might be a little harder. It might go more hey, I think I'm going to take this walk by myself. Just want to have some space alone. And they say, why? Why do you need that space? I came all the way from Kentucky to sit with you. What do you mean? I only see you 5 days out of the year. And in that case, I want to empower you that you do not need to offer any justifications or rationalizations. I'm going to take this walk now, and I'll be back, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. works as well and better as any trying to get someone else to understand your needs and why you need what you need, much less have them accept that you need what you need. So I want to empower you as you look at what kind of self-care do I need in the form of solitary time, and requesting it or sharing with another human being that you'll be taking it, to not feel the need to convince anyone else of why it's a good idea. You can simply say, I'm going to go do this now. I'll be back. Yeah, have those conversations. And so many times when we talk about having conversations, what I've found in my life is that I get all up in my head about, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want them to think the wrong thing. I don't, whatever the conflict is. What I forget is that when I give myself permission and I get real brave and I ask for what I want, I also give other people that I truly love permission to be real brave and ask for what they want. And that's the kind of relationship that I really want to have with all the people that I hold so dear. One where we can both ask for what we want and need. I want everybody to have that permission. So if it gets tough to just hold your ground and say, like, I need some time on my bike, or I need just 1 cup of coffee full of me time. Please remember that as you do that for you, you are showing other people to do that for them, and that you're going to love them still. If they don't spend 23 hours a day with you, you are still going to love them in hour 24 when they come back. Gosh, what a gift. The third thing is look at your commitments. Now, we talk all the time about, like, you got to know your why and you got to blah, 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 why. I know that I take my solitude time because what I'm really committed to is being recharged and ready and a big, bright, shiny light of fun. And I simply cannot do that without the recharge time. I can't run myself into the ground and think that I'm going to show up the way I'm really committed to showing up. Let me give you an example. When my children were little, I noticed that during the summers, right after lunch, we were a shit show, frankly. There are 3 of them. And by the time we'd played all morning and they'd switched allegiances, with 3, it's always 2v1, right? So they had switched allegiances about 11 times. Everybody was getting cranky. Finally, we'd stop for lunch. And then immediately, as the afternoon began, it was like they were right back in it. And now they were like sort of sleepy, enough to be full and sleepy, but all kinds of cranky. And so I started this thing called quiet time. Just kind of made it up. And for an hour every day, I sent them to their rooms right after lunch. And I said, no electronics. You can play Lego. You can read a book. You can color. You can do whatever you want to. You can sleep. You can do whatever you want to. But you need to stay in your room. You can't play with anybody else. And this is what I found. For one thing, the kids typically napped. If they needed to nap, they'd have a nap. They'd poop because they got relaxed and slowed down enough to actually, get into that parasympathetic nervous system and take their poops. And I'd find them after quiet time, silently and very lovingly, with a lot of cooperation and teamwork, disobeying their mother by playing together in the hallway. All the angst and irritation of the morning was gone. It was like that time in their rooms reset them. And then by the time the hour was through, they were rested, pooped, and ready to be kind and connect with one another again. But the interesting thing I saw, and that was great, right? But the truly surprising thing I discovered was what I did with their quiet time. You see, at first, when I give them quiet time, oh, thank God, it's time for me to unload the dishwasher and prep dinner and clean up and make those 14 phone calls and fill out those forms and do all the adulting. And when the end of that hour would come through, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it's only been an hour. Like I've still got, 18 errands and, whatever. And then I started taking the hour. I think I started with just taking part of the hour, like just 15 minutes as my own quiet time. I went in my room and closed my door, and I might read. I might watch a little TV. I might do a Sudoku. I just had time for me. Typically, I did not talk on the phone or connect with other people during that time. And as I continued to do that practice, I learned very quickly that when I took the full hour to have time for me, the mom that I was on the other side of that hour was patient and playful and ready. I just had to recharge. And with 3 kids in less than 48 months apart, right? Because Maggie was 3 when the third one was born. So the oldest was 3 when the third one was born. My kids were tight, and it was a lot. I think if I were to give, 30-year-old Amy or 35-year-old Amy the advice of like, oh no, just take an hour out of your day to rest, she'd have been like, are you smoking a crack pipe? I got a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and they are like on high drive all the time. But thankfully, 40-year-old Amy learned that an hour of quiet time made her a better mom. And the bonus is remembering that commitment to be a better mom and be present with my kids eased up the guilt that I felt about having some solitary time. I know many, 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 many of us feel guilty when we ask for alone time, particularly when it is alone time to not be productive. Not alone time because we've just got to get these bills paid or we've just got to get this work done, or not that time. The alone time that is simply unscheduled, disconnected, unplugged time just for me to be with me. There's a lot of guilt there. And I would encourage you to write down who you are committed to being on the other side of that solitary time. And when the guilty gremlins creep up, get that focus back on that commitment. I could very easily be invited to be guilty and give up that hour of my day. So it's very important for me to remember that on the other side of that hour, my connection with my kids was so much fun. And we had a fun summer. Not possible if I did not rejuvenate. The last little tip, this is, I think, number 4 that I wanted to give you. After you take your solitary time. So far we've made a list of some times that you think might be rejuvenating for you. Now, it could be that morning coffee, you think it's going to be rejuvenating, but actually it's not, and you need a little more, you need something different. Totally fine. Your list is just a where to start, where I think I might be able to steal some pockets during the day and maintain my sanity and my ability to be present. It's just a starter list. The second is that conversation you have with your people. Hey, I'm going to be taking this time and I'll be back at this time, and we'll do that when I'm done, right? Very clear. No justifying. This is what I'm going to be doing, right? The third is to really keep a sharp focus on what you're committed to being after that time so that you don't feel guilty, especially if you are driven by guilt gremlins. The fourth and final tip is when you get out of that time and you reconnect with your people, enjoy it. Have fun. Be present. It may require effort. It sometimes requires effort for me in the last 10 days having Mom here to remember that this is my time to be with Mom. And if the garage gets cleaned out during this time and I can do that with her, great. If it does not get cleaned out, that garage will wait. My priority is my Mom. And it does require something, some little bit of energy, some shift. When I'm thinking like, oh, I need to get up and get those dishes done. I need to get up and go check the mailbox. And it takes a shift for me to know what you need to do is sit down on this couch and listen to that story she's telling about her uncle and how she really hated that uncle. You know, that's why I recharge my batteries so that I can be with her and enjoy that, because that's nourishing too. So 4 steps for you today. Self-care in the form of solitary time. Make a list. Talk to your people. Keep your eyes on your commitment if the guilty gremlins sneak up. And after you bust out of that solitary time, girl, enjoy it. Be present. Put forth some effort to focus in on like the fun times of summer. It is summer fun time. Yay! I love summer. All right. Well, I hope that is so helpful for you. And if you find that you're in that time where like you cannot settle yourself down, you can always click the consultation. I'm always looking to chat with people about how coaching might benefit them. If it's not the right fit for you, I can point you in maybe a good direction for a next place to start. But you don't have to just live worn out all the time. There's something better for you on the other side of those lifestyle changes that you really want to make. Give yourself some grace when you miss the mark, because you're going to. You are so loved. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time on Healthy AF. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Healthy AF podcast. I hope that it has helped you create a new possibility for your health and sets you into action to go get it. If you want more information or if you want to connect with me, visit my website at myhealthylife.coach. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that each new Healthy AF episode will be sent directly to you. Let's take you from where
What
you
you want,
to where you
when
want
you
to
want
go.
it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.